Hey, it's Cody. I'm on here because I thought that I might show you guys a deck that I just recently got. This is the Stone and Shadow Oracle by Ray Serafina Barker. This deck creator has at least 3, maybe 4, maybe even more than that. I don't even know why I'm trying to pick a number. There are multiple decks on their Etsy page, so I will stick a link to their shop in the description box so that you can check that out. I am really excited about this deck. I got this as a Mother's Day gift, like because I asked for it. Okay, it's not like it's just people just picked me something perfect, but I didn't get this deck for a really long time after I knew that it existed, and it's a whole thing. I've restarted this video like 5 times because I've tried to read this out loud and apparently can't do it, so we're just gonna skip that part for now. So, but I did want to show you the box. The light's weird right now. It's like 7:30 a.m. where I am right now. I don't know what possessed me. Like, I just popped up this morning like, oh my god, I have to make a video about this. And that's weird, but it is what it is. So we've got kind of this dark plant kind of vibe here. This deck is fucking immaculate. Okay, I love it. It's got 2-piece hard box with the little thumb holes in it. Let's get this shit out of here. Card backs. A little note. Oh, on the other side of the note, I've got, this is one of the cards. I don't remember which one it is. Okay, we will look at the guidebook later. Okay, hang on now. I know I like that. All right. Card backs are fucking beautiful. Some part of this feels like running through like a vampire's castle in a dress or whatever people are into lately. Do you know what I mean? It's like oh my god, focus. The dark greenery of it and like kind of some of the architectural design and stuff. This deck is super cool and I just so deeply wish I had gotten this sooner. Something I was going to say a minute ago and forgot because I always interrupt myself. Some part of me was like, I should wait to talk about this deck till closer to Samhain. And I was like, what am I talking about? Like, I don't know why. This is a very Samhain-y deck. Expect to see it ad nauseum closer to October. Okay, so first we'll talk a little bit. All right, for some reason, I imagined this deck was going to be big. I thought it was going to be like one of those oversized, maybe Oracle-sized kind of things, because this is an Oracle deck. It's not a Tarot deck. I was actually pleasantly surprised. This is from the Tarot of the Enchanted Forest or something like that. This is one of those like Llewellyn big box ones, like before they started sucking so bad. It's pretty much, I mean, it's almost the same height, but it's a little bit wider. So I was pleasantly surprised to see that it feels manageable to me. Like, yeah. All right, we've got gilding. That's okay. I'm not really worried about gilding one way or the other. I don't like if it's sharp on the edges, but this is not. Okay, so I believe this deck, I don't know how many cards this deck has, but it's a lot. I kind of feel like, not Rockpool, what is it? Hay House? One of those publishing companies is sort of normalizing Oracle decks being like hardly any cards, like 44 or whatever. Quite frankly, I'm sick of it, and I'm really glad to see this is an Oracle deck, but that it's definitely, it's got some heft to it, right? Like, I feel like this is the kind of Oracle deck that I could use by itself, and not just like a supporting role for a tarot reading, right? Okay, so basically this deck is kind of almost like communication with the dead. Maybe. I mean, I think it would work for spirit work. But yeah. All right, so let's just get into it. I don't know why I'm talking so much. Here is immersion. So if you can see here, we've got pillars, we've got the moon, we've got dark forest back here, we've got a beautiful statue, and underneath, immersed in the water, right? We've got people down here. The light coming in the window is beautiful. This deck is beautifully done. I love the colors. Okay, for some reason I always buy, like Danielle Noel decks and shit. There's something about it that I think feels interesting, but I hate the Starseed shit. And I can't stand, like, I don't know. Something about it's really bright and corny that this deck manages to sort of capture that, whatever it is that I'm looking for without being that way to me. I mean, you might see this and be like, "Oh, this is horrible," but look at this passageway. Like, there's so much going on in these cards that you can really just get in there and look. I don't know how much this is going to let me zoom in. We've got stained glass windows, obviously a passageway there. We've got, the trees, another entryway there. Looks like a hallway there. Water as a passageway. I feel like I have not used this deck very much yet. I've drawn a couple cards just to kind of try and start getting to know it. But I really feel like there's a lot you can pull out of this. We'll look at the guidebook in a minute because I really like the way the guidebook has been handled too. Underworld with the plants, you can see the roots coming down. Kind of the silhouettes of people. But on the top is the cemetery. Power. Weaver with the spider. I mean, this is really the reason that I feel like it's very Samhain-y, but also by Samhain, it doesn't really have the greenery. This just has like such a dark fantasy feel, but not in a way that's making me cringe anyway. Departure. Initiation. I really like the use of water in this deck as like transformative, sort of. That's the way I'm reading it anyway. I mean, see, that's the thing that with decks that have a lot of symbolism in them is that people can look at them and just guess something different. For me, I'm seeing water as transformative, you know. Here's Mask. Now, I am getting kind of Phantom of the Opera sort of vibes from some of this. Flame is beautiful. And okay, here's the thing. I feel like I've been looking for a deck that I feel like is beautiful, but also useful. I think that a lot of these decks that are beautiful, a lot of times lack the symbolism the way that I use a deck. I am not really a guidebook person. Just like if I'm making a recipe, or if I'm like following a pattern, something in me is like, I can't do it exactly like it was, like the instructions say. I don't know, man, something's wrong with me, but I mean, I kind of follow the gist of it, but I'll definitely go my own way if I feel like I have a better idea for something. And I read the cards like that too. So for a deck and its cards to have so much symbolism within each card, that's really important to me. I feel like it's taken me a lot of years. Maybe some people are quicker at this than I am. It's taken me a lot of years to really realize what it is I'm looking for in a deck. I mean, okay, maybe it hasn't taken me that many years, but maybe it changes, you know? But really the symbolism that I feel like I have associations for is really a thing that I value in a deck, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like a lot of decks, especially recently, oh my god, this is one of my favorite cards, and it's the first one I drew after I shuffled it. A lot of decks lately will be very... I'm trying to think of a kind way to explain this. Just the artwork is very simple, and I don't mean like the coloring book cartoon sort of lines that I think the art style is kind of tending toward in more recent years. But I mean, there's just not symbolism. It's just like a person standing on like a blank background, and not in the Rider-Waite-Smith way, like in look it up in the guidebook way. Do you know what I'm saying? Damn, look at this card. These are so creepy. Like, well, I mean, not creepy. Maybe eerie is the right word. I don't know. I am loving this deck so much. Damn, I guess I could flip through these a little bit faster. I'm just like talking and holding a card and flailing it around. This is going to be weird. But I think the last deck that came into my possession was the Cave of the Sibyl by Tara May. That is the same deck creator as the Ritual Tarot. And this deck has something that feels similar to the Cave of the Sibyl Oracle. And okay, look at this is some Phantom of the Opera shit. And I love that for myself and this deck. Something about it has a similar feeling, whereas Cave of the Sibyl is much more... it's a lot darker, but I think there's some similar theming. Cave of the Sibyl is very much about fire and being underground. It's definitely underworld. I mean, obviously it's a cave. This one has sort of an upper world and underworld. I am having a hard time with my words here this morning, but I like the idea of the Watcher. I think actually this is my least favorite card, and I don't really like. It's just this right here that I don't like. I wish it was like Animalized. Okay, anyway, I have to complain about at least one thing. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, something about this gives me a similar feeling to Cave of the Sibyl. Oracle. I don't know. I don't know why it does. I feel like I have to defend myself because I feel like that's a weird comparison to make. But, oh well. Damn, look at this card. I've complained before about, like, repeated things in decks, and I'm talking, like, I've bitched about Jimmy Manton and, like, the Isis Oracle that I have that's by, shit, I forgot. You know the one. Yeah, I'm never gonna think of her name right now. Threshold. About, it will literally be the same exact drawing, but, like, digitally flipped over, or just, like, with different shit surrounding it. That's not what I mean in this. I mean that certain elements show up more than once, and in a way that feels like it links the cards rather than being lazy. I should have gotten an example for that. This deck is fucking beautiful. I'm very excited about it. And I also wanted to say, okay, two things. I have a couple other decks here that I also wanted to mention in relation to this. So one of them is the Rose Oracle. Now, for some reason, I use this deck a lot. I actually don't even like it. Like, I think to myself as I'm using it how much I don't like it. And I've said repeatedly that I wish that this deck, that somebody would make a deck like this that's darker, right? Like, okay, well, pull out, I see a couple there. But, like, some of this shit, like, do you see how I'm saying this is similar to this, but it's like the dark version. Okay, this is not picking up very well on the camera. But it's a dark version of this style, okay? Also, I feel like these cards are very surface level, but there are a couple darker cards in here, like this. The Fertile Void, and I'm like, damn, I wish somebody would make a deck with this whole ass feeling. And somebody did. In fact, this, like, do you see what I'm saying? Look at that. This is what I asked for. Made manifest, and I fucked around and didn't get it for a while. That one to a lesser degree. I think there's another. Oh no, I hate that one. Yeah, so I guess what I'm trying to say is I've been looking for a deck like this, I feel like, for a while. Also, here's another Oracle deck. Now, this is always in my favorite Oracle deck pile. I don't think I've put this away since I initially got it. This is the Magic of You Oracle. I colored the edges of it, so that's why mine looks like that. And I have loved this deck because of the dark fantasy, weird plant bullshit. Like, look at this. And, like, these. Oops, that's the same exact card again. Just try and grab. Like, do you see how there's wow, oh my god, similarity in this art style. But this deck is, like, my favorite cards from this one. I'm pretty sure that this deck, well, okay, no, that's not fair. I was going to say, I think that, oh my god, the Stone and Shadow Oracle may have displaced the Magic of You Oracle in my, like, favorites sort of pile. Although I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think so. Just because this one's pretty all around. You can use it for a lot of things. I can use it by itself. It goes really well with other decks. Stone and Shadow Oracle, I actually don't know for sure how well this would work with other decks. Oh look, masks. Just because the theme of it seems kind of pointed, and sometimes it feels limiting to have a deck that kind of seems like it's aimed toward one specific thing. Personally, I have so many decks that can just be used for anything. Sometimes I feel like I struggle to pick one. So if there's one that's aimed towards something specific, I really appreciate that. So this is the Dead, this is the Underworld, this is Spirit Work, and that's something that I do a lot of, and I love. Anyway, I just realized I probably should have grabbed the Memento Mori Oracle. I feel like if this deck needed something to... I mean, some of its keywords are a little bit broad Flame, Shadow Self, Allies, Reunion, Memory. Sometimes I could see thinking, Descent, thinking that maybe you need something to help hone in on a specific aspect of what the cards are trying to say. I think the Memento Mori Oracle might be really good for that, but I did not grab it. Okay, now, one last thing I gotta talk about. Shit, what did I do with it? Oh, the guidebook. Huge fan of the guidebook. Again, another similarity, I think, with the Cave of the Sibyl Oracle is because this is the Book of Mysteries. This doesn't have straight up meanings in it. It has a poem. Now, the Margaret Peterson Tarot Guidebook does this too. I think only for the majors though. But so it doesn't tell you exactly what it means. It just gives you a little poem to sort of put you on the right path, which I love. I don't actually like when I get in a guidebook, and it tells you like exactly to the T what something's supposed to mean. I know some people are really into that. For me, I find that almost limiting. Like if it's like, oh, it means this. Some part of me is like, well, I was thinking maybe it meant this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think it can be limiting. So we'll just pick one here. Portal. The door opens into a darkness that sings, humming a low melody you heard once in that grainy haze between dream and memory, into a shadow that whispers an ancient language your ancestors knew, and your spirit remembers. Past the threshold is a mystery that transfigures everything it touches, most of all you, reborn in the collision of streaming light meeting the underworld void. That poem is beautiful. If I drew Portal and I was kind of didn't feel like I knew what it was trying to get at, I think, okay, it's like this guidebook puts you on a path that you can walk and come to your own conclusion rather than holding your hand and being like, okay, here's the answer, kid. Like, if that makes any sense. I actually love every single thing about this deck. I am so excited. In fact, I'm kind of thinking I might go ahead and go for one of the other decks also that this creator made. Not necessarily, I don't remember if I mentioned this or not. I went through a whole Aphrodite thing, and actually found this creator's Etsy page, because I was trying to find a deck that I felt matched the energy that I personally was getting from Aphrodite, which apparently is different than like everybody else. And I did consider a watery kind of deck that's on there. But ultimately I was like, this just is, I know it's not going to work because it's still not the energy that I personally am getting. So I didn't end up getting it, but when I did run across the shop, that's when I saw the Stone and Shadow Oracle on there. I added it to like my favorites or whatever it's called on there, the little heart thing. But then just didn't get it for a really long time. But how much I love this deck, I'm kind of wondering if maybe I would love some of her other decks this much. So yeah, that's definitely something that I'm considering. If anyone has any other decks by Ray Serafina Barker, let me know what you think of them. If you think the other decks are similar or not. Yeah, I don't know. So I just wanted to talk about this. I don't see anyone else talking about this. So yeah, I guess that's all I have to say for this morning. Thanks for watching. Bye.